showed me this shit. This warrants.
That's what I was going to talk
Fucking-
about, but no, that's what I wanted to talk
No,
about
you
today.
had to talk about our marriage, you asshole.
No,
John.
no, 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 no.
I'm sorry. We are back. My wife just showed me something that I haven't had a chance to see just because I've been busy working and everything. But I figured, screw it, we'll look at it now.
And I bummed myself up for this, by the way. I wasn't expecting you to be like, we're going live. We're going live. Like, I wasn't expecting.
Well, I didn't read the entire thing. You sat here and watched me be exposed to this. I've read the first 2 paragraphs, and I want to hurt something.
I know.
So I figured, screw it. We're gonna air this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and read. Would you like me to read it? Would you want to read it? I'll figure.
You know.
So the article itself, for people who are catching us on Spotify, is I didn't let a family tragedy spoil my most important day. That's what it's called. Okay. You know what? I have to say, the second I read that headline, I was like, okay, somewhere within, and not within this broadcast, but somewhere within reading this, I'm going to say the C word.
Yeah.
That is a bomb that is in the cargo bay getting ready to be dropped.
Yeah.
And I want to get rid of that chat really quick. There we go. Okay, so away we go. My sister lost her husband and 8-year-old son in a crash 6 days before my wedding. She wanted me to cancel, but I said, I cannot sacrifice my day. We have already paid for everything. She was silent. Now, in fairness, I get both sides. It's extremely bad luck. But when you consider the cost of a wedding like we're being led to, you know, there's a certain dollar amount attached to that I wouldn't let go. So I get both sides. On the big day, as we were all dancing, my sister appeared in the crowd laughing hysterically. Then all of a sudden, we hear a massive sound as all the lights in the party venue switched off at once and the music abruptly stopped. There better be a motherfuck of a bass drop coming.
Yeah.
Horrified, I saw her son and husband's images appear on the large projection wall where our wedding photos were displayed. In that moment, I realized she had orchestrated a plan to ruin my special day. And this is where I stopped and then hit the start streaming button. Nope, I'm not going to do it quite yet.
Yeah, continue.
We're going to keep going. My sister then got up on stage and took the microphone, addressing me by saying, "You're up here dancing and partying while your little nephew died less than a week ago. Shame on you." Before leaving the stage, she added, "When you have kids of your own, I will treat them with the same indifference you treated mine." Everyone was silent after that, and the guests started leaving shortly after. My day was totally ruined. Was I to blame? Leah. Leah... You are not to blame. Your sister is that word. And I almost, here's the thing. If I didn't read the second half, she totally would have had my sympathy.
As far as what, though?
As far as the...
Like, which sister would have had your sympathy? Like, which one are you in agreement with?
See, here's the thing. I think that immediately when, the sister lost her husband and 8-year-old son in a car crash 6 days before my wedding. Okay, what immediately fucking comes to my head is trying to go to an event 6 days after you and MJ
Yeah.
were in the same situation.
Yeah.
First off, what I really wish I knew what this chick's name is.
The sister or the one who wrote it?
not Leah. Not Leah, the good sister. The
one that showed up.
the defective one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you know what? We're gonna call her Karen. I feel like that's freaking perfect.
Yeah.
So, Karen lost her husband and 8-year-old son. I feel really bad for Karen. I really, really do. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I know.
Just a fraction of that pain, thinking about it, makes me want to fucking cry.
Yeah.
She wanted me to cancel, but I said I cannot sacrifice my day. We've already paid for everything. She was silent. Now, I could understand why Karen will be pissed off.
Yeah.
Totally. On the other hand, if this was something that you had planned for like a year, you had already
And probably
paid.
more than that.
Yeah. Well,
Because here's
let's
the
assume
deal.
a year.
Here's the deal. If they already had it paid for, you know, you have to book things far enough in advance.
Yeah.
It's not like, so that means they had to put money down on it
Yeah.
quite the while ago.
Yeah.
That's why people,
This was a substantial
Yeah.
investment of time and money.
and like you and I talked about in the earlier podcast, although this isn't for you and I, but there are plenty of people out there that would literally spend thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of dollars on
Yeah.
what they consider their dream wedding.
Yes.
So yeah,
And I don't get
it's
it.
not like a $500 like. I mean, that
Yeah.
would, to me, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But then again, you and I are dirt merchants through.
Oh,
and
I
through,
know.
You know, so okay, so had I been in Karen's position, there is no way I was going to show up to a public function.
that was
That was never going to fucking happen. After you and MJ gone? Oh yeah, no. I would be a hermit for at least 6 months. Mm-hmm. Like solid.
yeah,
One of the things that makes me so angry about this particular situation is because this is a symptom of a larger problem.
oh yeah,
Entitled who think that everything should revolve around them. Being the center of attention in every single possible aspect of her life. Now, the reality of this, if this happened and one of my siblings ended up pulling that shit, number one, not only would they never be fucking spoken to again, but they'd have their ass kicked.
yeah,
Like that's, and there's no other way. You do something like that, we're throwing hands.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. I may lose, but you're gonna get, it's not gonna end well. You know what I'm saying?
See, I'm glad that we're talking about this because honestly, the first time that I read this article, I was actually kind of a little bit in favor of the other sister, not the one who had the wedding. Cause I am all emotion. I am all heart. So like my thought is, here's the deal.
Yeah.
If you and I had a wedding planned and something tragic like that happened, and I actually was still talking to my sister, yeah, I would have rescheduled the wedding. I would have figured out something. I would have moved things around. You know what I mean? But then again, like but then again, I wouldn't have spent a lot of money on our wedding anyway.
Well-
so there's,
Here's the reality. You're all emotional,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, then consider this. Let's say that you and I, let's say that you and I came from money, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say that. If we're gonna make this entire thing a fiction, let's make the entire thing a fiction. Let's say that you and I come from money,
Yeah.
and we end up planning this wedding for a year. We put like $100,000 into it. Like, and this is something we care about. Like, we care about the money. We're still frugal people. I think we're just essentially going to be the same people, but just our bank account's a bit different.
Yeah.
The emotional content involved from you walking down the aisle, putting your hand in mine, slipping the ring on our fingers, and celebrating that best moment with the people that we actually care about, assuming
Yeah.
that we are not such awkwardly curmudgeonly fucks that we actually want people around us, right? If your sister came to you and was like, I want you to cancel your wedding, and you did that, you would be starting some huge shit with me.
Yeah.
You know, just because this is something that we have wanted for so long, and life happens.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that before the wedding, I wouldn't be up her ass.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do
Like,
you need me to cook you anything?
yeah.
Are the
Or
girls
even if
taken
she
care
would
of?
have been like,
How's your husband? Does he need someone to talk to? Like, it's not like this shit would exist in a fucking vacuum.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know I'm not getting mad at you.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like when my first initial reaction was the sympathy of the sister who lost her family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my first reaction.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that tugs at me.
Yeah, because it's like, oh my God. But in the same token, yeah, I mean, things are expensive as it is.
Yeah.
And then you factor in, you're right. This wasn't just planned on a whim, you know? And who knows? Because you know what? We don't even know the details about the wedding. Not that that's important, but you've heard of people literally leaving, actually going out of the country to have a wedding.
Yeah, that's the thing. We just
don't know.
assume that this is like a run of the mill
Yeah.
church wedding done in their hometown. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. What about that?
A destination wedding is the
here's-
word that I could have
Here's
used.
another thing that just popped into my head just as you were saying that. Aren't sisters maids of honor normally?
Well, I was my sister's maid of honor, and then I ended up being her husband's sister
Yeah.
threw a fit, so she had to be the matron of honor. So matron, I believe, is when
So-
you're married. So at this point, she probably was the matron of honor, maybe.
Okay, so here's the question. The fact that Karen was Leah's maid of honor, does that make her fucking stunt less impactful or more? Because I got, until the idea of her being a maid of honor entered my head, it was just like, oh, I'm never talking to this bitch again.
Yeah.
Like, you died in a fire. I don't
No,
want you
chances
near-
are she probably was her matron of
So
honor.
if that's the case, that changes the equation so much more.
Why's that?
I don't think. Okay. You let someone into what is arguably the biggest day of your life.
Yeah.
You give them a specific role. You give them the honor of being part of it.
Yeah.
And then they pull this shit.
Yeah.
And this is complete. And I want to know for the actual record. I am sympathetic to the fact that this chick lost her husband
Yeah.
and her son. Honestly, if I lost you or I lost Mara, I wouldn't be able to live. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
My life would be freaking over.
And that's the thing too.
But I
like,
wouldn't ruin someone's friggin' special day.
And she definitely, like, you can tell that the sister did not. I mean, how can anyone act rationally at that point? But you can tell that was definitely a heightened moment.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
here's the deal. She said, okay, so let's go even one step further. She said that she lost her husband and son 6 days prior to the wedding.
Mm.
So that means chances are 3 days prior to the wedding, at best, she buried them.
Yeah.
So it was like you had that loss, and then you had to officially put them into the ground,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean, like something like that. And then it was like 2 days, 3 days later, your sister gets married.
Well, I mean, and I think an interesting line of discussion is open up for this. Fine. At that point, then they're both kind of,
Yeah.
well, I mean, equally liable for this entire thing. I mean, if I saw that my sibling was too I don't want to say emotionally unstable, because there's nothing stable about losing your life, losing a life external of yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever life you have that is not within yourself, and you lose that, yeah, you're gonna be pretty fucked up.
Yeah, yeah.
Having said that, the reason that this makes me so angry is because it is that symptom of that larger problem.
Yeah.
That people feel the need to be the absolute most important thing in someone else's life.
Like the world only revolves around them and only them.
When I talk to you, you exist.
Yeah.
If I'm not talking to you, you're not even there.
Yeah.
That's essentially how people like that. And again, I'm assuming a whole shitload right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I realize that. Oh, God. That shit makes me so fucking angry.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was like, that's really fucked up. Like, I wouldn't have had it in me to be like, you have to cancel your wedding. You know what I mean? Like, she wanted me to cancel, but I said, like, okay, so we're not even saying how she approached this. I mean, this is it,
I'm sure this was, see, the text of it, I'm sure is not even approaching the level of emotional content within that entire week. I would imagine that it wasn't something as innocuous as her coming up and be like, you know what, I'm really not feeling it. Can you reschedule your wedding? I'm assuming she,
Yeah.
I'm assuming this came up, during the sisterly thing that you're supposed to have of the two of them sharing a bottle of wine and one of them crying, both of them maybe crying, and then just this being mentioned. And then her being like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they move on until this shit show.
until she throws a fit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, when did we stop holding people responsible for horrible things that they do? Now, I was going to say, when are we going to stop holding horrible people responsible for the horrible thing? Because I don't think she's horrible. I don't think Karen's horrible.
Mm-mm. I think that was a really fucked up situation for everybody involved.
Yes.
And honestly, I really, really, really hope that they can find a way to get past it if they were close to begin with.
I really hope they don't. I hope that Leah takes her sister, drops her off at a fucking farm somewhere. And I hope
you don't think that that's forgivable?
No, absolutely not. If you purposely try and ruin what is supposed to be the best day of my life, and I'm not a marriage guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like faking a heart attack. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Faking a heart attack, for example. An amazing point. Yeah,
But
we knew people who do that. But it's one of these things where if you are actively going to sabotage something that means so much to me, you are not part of my life.
yeah.
And I really hope that every single person who went to that wedding thinks, wow, Karen's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Poor Leah. Because no one's going to be thinking about the fact that she lost her husband and her son.
Yeah, they're going to see that this is a woman who literally, although one, her world kind of ended, the other one, her world is starting to begin. Like, it's a whole new chapter to her life. This is supposed to be a happy moment, almost like a rebirth without and I know that sounds really kind of disturbing, but does that make sense?
No, it does.
It's like it's a rebirth of a new life.
Yeah. It's essentially starting over.
Yeah.
Well, not starting over, but just starting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, well, what do you think? Do you think that is forgivable? How would you, all right, let's say that situation happened to you. How would you handle it?
Well, here's the deal. I come from the aspect of like 50 first chances. You know what I mean? Like you get more and more and more chances, and I'm not like that anymore. Like I have no problem completely cutting people out, and I'm fine with that. But as far as that goes, like I it's funny because I think about that back to when my sister and I were close, and if something like that happened to me, I would have probably been hurt and suffered in silence the fact that she didn't cancel it. Until rationality kicked in. Then I would have.
So you're taking Karen's role.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at it like because I'm the baby sister, so I'm assuming here that the one, let's just assume
Okay,
that maybe
but here's the thing. Even during your irrationality,
yeah.
you've always handled irrationally.
Oh yeah.
If you knew you were going to be flying off the handle, you go into a room.
Yeah.
Or you do something to where you're
Yeah.
not going to cause any kind of damage. My question to you is, you are the person who had the wedding.
Yeah.
You're the person who planned the wedding. Your sister came and pulled this shit. How are you reacting to her? Because I got to be perfectly honest with me, it would be, you are dead to me. Do not talk to me. Do not use my name. Keep my motherfucking name out of your just seriously.
As presently configured as I am who I am today, I would say go fuck yourself and be done with her.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry for your loss, but you need some fucking major help.
Yeah.
You know, but who I was before, yeah, I would have probably, but I would have taken that embarrassment, that shock, and that hurt,
Yeah.
and would have been like, whatever, it is what it is, because it's family, you know. But
I
no,
hate that phrase.
as I am today, yeah, no, like I have no problem. We have family members that legitimately, when our daughter was going through her hardest time emotionally, that was like, I don't have time to be there for her emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like,
And eventually
Bye.
we're going to see this, so fuck you guys, by the way.
yeah, I know. You know, it's one of those things where, like, that is your family. If you can't be there for them emotionally when they need it, just to be a sense of support.
Yeah.
And even if it's just like, I love you. You good? Mm-hmm. I love you.
Or even just a
You're
text.
not alone.
Just a text.
I love you.
Hey.
Thinking of you.
You dead yet?
Yeah,
No?
just
Good.
something.
Stay that way. You know?
Something. So that's why I'm saying that, like, as I am today, no, I would completely cut all contact. But that's the thing too, because then it's funny because I think about that situation today. If I would have cut contact, then there would have been this huge fight with the rest of my family, you know.
Okay,
And
but
that's
in
fine.
this,
I'm fine because I have my new family.
in this scenario, we have money.
Oh, in this
Right?
scenario, yeah,
So
I'm just moving out of the fucking country.
Exactly, yeah.
Starting over, you know.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I just so like it's really hard to read that story and not like your heart not kind of pour out for the one who lost the family.
And that's exactly what I was just thinking about, because it's like,
Yeah.
I could not imagine my external life just gone.
Do you know what? There was a few years ago, there was an accident up by the mall, and like the weather had gotten really bad,
Yeah.
and it was a husband and wife and their two kids. Well, the husband and the two kids passed away,
Oh,
and the wife survived.
yeah.
And like I think about that even to this day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not going to say she moved on, because how can you really move on from something like that? But it's been how many years? But that would still have to, like, how do you kind of move forward from that?
No, you don't.
Yeah. And
You
it's
don't,
like,
really.
and you can, and I feel like I'm lessening it by being like, you can start over. I don't mean it like that, but
Yeah.
you can pick up and start a different life. Not a better life, you know, just a different one.
Yeah.
There is ways past that trauma. And it takes a lot of fucking hard work and a lot of willpower that a lot of people just do not have. But it's the fact that, like, I just don't think that that's right to be like, I'm suffering, so therefore you have to suffer.
Yeah.
Because that's what it kind of seems like. So it seems like she's like, you know, I'm
It's the
suffering
crab
right
theory,
now.
man. It's the fucking crab theory.
Yeah.
Like you get a bunch of crabs in a bucket, one of the crabs starts to find a way out, and all the rest of the crabs pull them back in. You know, and you know what? While you were saying that, I'm going to assume via probability that it's probably about a 70% probability that the two of them aren't talking anymore.
Oh, no.
I would say 70, just because I'm giving them 30%, just because some people value family differently than we do.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, whatever. Okay, fine. Which means that there's a 70% probability this woman is now having to deal with the loss of her husband and her son alone.
Yeah, and no, well, here's the deal though. I don't know why, and I have no proof of backing this up because I didn't see anything that is said in that article. The way that Leah,
I'm gonna get a water real quick.
yeah, the way that Leah ended this entire conversation,
Water?
yes, please, spoke to me like she's not the reason why she chose not to talk to her sister anymore.
Yeah.
Because when she said, "Was I the asshole?" So that tells me.
Past tense.
It tells me that her sister was just like, I'm
Yeah.
at this present time, I'm officially done with you.
Yeah.
And Leah's still like in her head, did I do the right thing? I'm reading that as in like she's still questioning whether or not she did the right
Yeah.
thing. And here's the thing that really pisses me off now thinking about that is I guarantee you, yeah, there's probably problems between her and her husband now. Because
imagine-
this is probably one of those
imagine.
things where this has probably happened how long ago? And I keep saying the word probably. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But this happened probably a while ago. And
Well, when was this? Okay, so this article was posted a week ago. Let's assume 6 months.
yeah.
We'll assume 6. Or, well, no. I mean, this might have happened recently because it was just wedding season. I mean, it was just late spring not too long ago.
Yeah.
You know. Well, that's wedding season, isn't it?
I
Pretty
think
sure.
so. I think most girls tend to like to have the spring wedding.
Again, justice of the peace in our living room.
Yeah.
Done. Chinese food afterwards. We had the perfect freaking wedding.
We did.
We really did.
And rock band.
And rock band.
But it's one of those things where I have this feeling that, and the first few months, actually, I mean,
All right.
first few months of your
Think
wedding.
about it for a second.
No, I know. The first few months after your wedding, they say it's like honeymoon, and the reason why I stopped is because I feel like that you and I are still technically in our honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what did they say typically, like the honeymoon phase lasts?
I think it's like 6 months or 3 months. Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So
until you
meanwhile,
actually start to get to know each other's
annoying and
quirks.
shit.
Yeah.
But so that means that this entire time she has stressed over this, Leah.
Oh, I have no doubt.
So because of that, there's that disconnection between her and her husband. Because
I
I'm sure her
imagine.
husband's probably looking at it like how you do. Like, this was our day. This was our day.
Dude, I wonder how many times Karen calls Leah, and then he's like, "Fuck her." Like, you know what I'm saying?
I have this feeling that Karen does not talk to Leah.
Really?
I have this feeling,
So
and
hold
that's
on,
why
hold
she's
on.
asking for advice.
So you think Karen broke off the relationship with Leah, not the other way around? Really?
I would love to know more, but yeah, I have this feeling
Oh
that
my
it was Karen
goodness.
that broke it off.
I wonder.
Because when she's like, I'm gonna treat your kids with the same indifference, and it's like, well, that's really shitty because
That's pretty fucked.
yeah. But I would love to know more. Like, I don't want to like air anyone's personal information, but she was clearly asking for advice. But the way that I'm reading that, I'm seriously convinced that Karen
Offer a
Puckles-
sincere. They offered advice. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Holy shit. We've just sailed off the port of madness. Okay. Hello, Leah. Thank you for sharing this is brightside.me, by the way. Thank you for sharing your story with us. We have some tips that we hope can offer you some help. Offer a sincere apology and recognize the hurt.
No.
For fucking what?
We're doing this.
I'm sorry,
No,
you
you're
put this
fine.
in front of me,
You're fine.
and I have not been this pissed off in a very long time. So offer a sincere apology and recognize the hurt. I'm waiting.
No. No.
Anyway.
And you know what? It's so funny because, the reason why I started kind of chuckling a little bit ago is because of the fact that I know you're going to laugh and go ahead, just get the ha 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 out of the way.
Okay.
But
Dr. Phil?
as Dr.
Dr.
Phil
Phil.
says,
I knew Dr. Phil was fucking coming.
no matter
Hi,
how
Dr.
flat
Phil.
you make a pancake, it has two sides. So we don't know.
Okay. Well, as flat as a pancake. Yeah.
But no, it's one of those things that there are two sides to this. But no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do not feel unless the sister was like, you know what, fuck you, fuck your dead kid, but
Oh my
fuck your
God.
husband. Unless
Yeah.
she said that,
Yeah.
there's no reason why she would owe an apology.
Yeah.
No reason.
I would owe an apology. I would owe so many apologies. If someone, see, at that point, I wouldn't even consider it my wedding. I don't need a wedding. I've never needed a wedding. This
Yeah,
is my
but you're
this is,
speaking as a man.
I understand, but this is my wife's wedding.
Yeah.
This is her special day. So I bring up the kid. I bring up the husband. The second I saw your face do what it does when it gets hurt,
Oh, I know.
oh my goodness, I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I just lost my, son and husband. It's clear they're in a fucking better place now.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because I don't know the look on my face because
Offer an
obviously it's me. But I know the look on your face when I feel a specific look coming across my face. And I know that there's no...
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I could put a shock collar on you and keep shocking you and you're
Yeah.
still going to be...
You want to talk about the loss of rationality?
Yeah.
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 So offer
No.
sincere apology and recognize the hurt.
Recognize the hurt. Absolutely.
That is part of my ass.
Recognize the hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No apology.
Yeah.
No apology.
Please consider reaching out to your sister and offering a heartfelt apology for not postponing the wedding. Ooh. Acknowledge the deep pain she's experiencing and express regret for not being more sensitive to her feelings. Let her know that you understand your decision's impact on her and that you're committed to supporting her through this challenging period.
Yeah, that's horrible fucking advice.
Plan a memorial gathering, which I would
yeah.
which I would then use a projector to put donkey porn on the second everyone fucking started crying.
Here's the deal. Here's what I would have
Just
done.
aggressive, bloody donkey porn.
Listen, I already have this wedding fucking planned.
Yeah.
I already have all this money invested in it. I'm so sorry. And you know what? Although I'm not feeling the same pain as you, I am feeling a pain because this is my family too. However, after my wedding, let's go ahead. Let's get together
Yeah.
and plan a memorial. Let's do this together. Like, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
Consider organizing a memorial event in honor of your nephew and brother-in-law. This could be a small, intimate gathering for family and friends to come together and remember them. It's
Before.
I imagine.
Before the shit fit. Yeah.
It's a way to show your sister that you deeply care about her loss and want to honor the memory of her loved ones. Okay. Now, here's the deal. Karen, I am so legitimately sorry for your loss.
I know.
And I really am. But you handled it like an asshole.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't deserve a sister who will organize an event. You don't.
Which is why I said before.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. If you are going to purposely ruin someone's day,
Yeah.
you don't deserve the care of that person.
Yeah, because that means like this wasn't an act of the heat of the moment because they said it popped up from
It
the projector, so
wasn't-
she had that plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a momentary loss of emotional control.
Yeah.
No, bitch, you did that from the beginning.
And I think that we've all had moments like that to where we've completely acted in the heat of the
Absolutely.
moment, but that was not. No, that was planned.
Yeah.
In the eyes of the law, that would be premeditated. Like
Yeah.
so
If someone lost their life,
Yeah.
it would be first degree murder.
yeah.
But anyway, consider pursuing family meditation
Mediation.
or mediation. I thought it was meditation.
I'm like meditation.
Yeah, meditation.
Meditation.
My sister is a
yourself.
twat.
Yeah.
Consider suggesting family mediation as a way to address the conflict between you and your sister. A professional mediator can assist in facilitating a constructive conversation, providing a platform for both of you to express your feelings and concerns. Now,
Okay.
no,
There
you've
has to
already
be a level of
expre-
respect to begin with.
You've already expressed everything I ever want to hear.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. The only thing left for you to do is to go as far away from me as possible.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. This approach can foster reconciliation and enhance mutual understanding of each other's perspectives. You know, here's the thing with reconciliation was awesome 20 years ago. when people didn't have this peevish notion that, can you fucking stop?
You're that heated.
That everything is forgivable.
Yeah.
It's the Catholic shit. I can act however I want, cheat on my wife, kill people, do all this other stuff, provided I go into that booth and ask Jesus for forgiveness.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You know what? And the other thing is, the one thing that fucking infuriates me is like, you can forgive them, but don't forget, or you know, it makes you heal
Yeah.
by forgiving. Well, maybe my healing is just moving on and not forgiving. Like,
Yeah.
do you see what I mean? Like, not everybody. It's
Maybe
I don't
someone's
agree.
method of reconciliation or someone's method of protecting their own sanity completely differs from this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't believe I like when somebody does something that's really they're like, oh well, you know, forgive them for yourself.
No.
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 They don't do
No.
that about forgiveness.
You say, fuck you, get out of my life.
Yeah.
And then they stay that way. And that is how you protect your sanity.
Yeah.
That's what you do for yourself.
Exactly.
Maybe someday, if Karen decides to, to not be a twat and be like, hey, can we talk about that? I'm really
Some
sorry.
PST,
Then you know what?
like,
Yeah. Then at that point, yeah, we'll have a discussion. Maybe,
yeah.
if I'm up to it. But to purposely go out of your way to ruin
Somebody that you're supposed to love.
well, not even that. Think about that. For as long as Leah lives, her marriage is going to be under the cloud of what her sister caused.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be a moment for her, married or otherwise,
Yeah.
that will ever be the fucking same again. And the same can be said for her losing, her losing her husband and whatever. My point is, why the fuck would you want to inflict that on someone that you profess to love?
Yeah. Yeah.
Consider, or we already did that, offer sustained assistance. Demonstrate your No, we're not even going to do this anymore.
No, because I feel like that they're telling her everything that she should be doing.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know what, Leah, you have every right to feel hurt. You have every
Yeah.
right to feel pissed off. You
Yeah.
have every right to have not canceled that wedding because you worked hard on that wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody's telling her that you have your feelings are validated.
Mm-hmm.
Your feelings, you have every right. They are your feelings. Instead of being like, yeah,
But no.
but
No, it's not.
no.
It's
No.
not. Had Karen been unrelated, she would have gotten her ass kicked.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
Then why would it be any different?
Yeah, I know.
We've been talking about this for a half hour, and you're just now being like, what happened?
It's Nanya's.
Nanya's.
Nanya's
God,
business.
that's
No, sorry.
That's crazy.
I know, I'm gay.
That is so freaking crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. It's funny because there's certain things that I hear about online that I'm just like, people ask for advice on, and I think that's awesome that we're living in a world where you can ask advice, from pretty much anyone. It's not just who you're surrounded by. Unfortunately, that comes with a lot of poor advice as well, such as
So
making it seem
Grace
like
J was the one from brightside.me who I'm assuming wrote the advice and everything.
Can you do
and
me a
also
favor and click on her profile
yeah, sure.
and write what?
And also wrote the article itself. With respect, Miss J, you are so far off the mark. Like,
I was trying to see
Awful.
where was her and not that you need an education to give advice, but I was just wondering if it explained anything about where her background was to
no.
very
She has
specifically be like,
it says she has a background in design and architecture, so presumably she's got a degree in one or the other, or both.
okay, so maybe building buildings is better for you than building relationships because you clearly don't know boundaries and respect.
Okay, now we're not mad at Grace.
No.
Grace,
No.
Grace, we're good. We're good.
No.
But yeah,
That's
homie,
not good advice. I'm
You're
sorry.
that was.
But every-
If I was standing next to her and hearing her say that to a friend of hers, I'd be like, don't fucking listen to her.
Yeah, it
That's dumb shit.
kind of reminds me. At one point, you said that you heard somebody insulting somebody who,
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that shit.
and that's what it kind of reminds me. Like,
Last week.
here's the deal: if like you're right, if you and I were standing there and hearing this Grace give that advice, we'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah. Last week, all right. So last week, when you, me, and
The priest.
she who shall not be named ended up going to Walmart, and we met up with that, one person I used to work with. Yeah. So let me explain the situation. So we go to Walmart, and it's me, my wife, and a friend of ours. This friend of hers just maybe a day prior to us hanging out lost her mother. And that's what we do. We don't lose people's mothers. We you need a hand, you need to relax. Come on over. We're good. This is a safe space, And so we met up with someone at Walmart that I used to work with. And that person asked what was wrong, because obviously she didn't look very good. And she was just like, what's wrong? She's like, my mother passed away a day ago. And I'm, she's saying all the normal shit. And this woman looks at her and says, well, hopefully your mother was a good, how did she put it? Hopefully she was a good woman so she can go to Jesus. And I remember looking at her and being like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I was like, you really don't understand what you've done. She's like, no. Now, meanwhile, the chick is next to us in tears. And say, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home, and I want you to find the nicest notebook you have. And I want you to write it down, what you just said to her. I want you to write it as nice as you possibly can. I want you to take your time and write it. I want the paper to be fucking immaculate. I want this to be the most beautiful thing that you have ever written on the most beautiful piece of paper you've ever found. Then I want you to fold that paper. And I want you to keep folding it as much as you can. And then I want you to stick it right up your ass for giving platitudes to someone who just lost their fucking mother, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not supposed to understand this. There's a vacancy in humanity today. Like, we just have to say the dumbest shit we could possibly say.
Yeah.
It's
like no one thinks.
No one. I don't know. If I saw someone and they're crying, I'm not going to pass judgment on anyone. And I'm not going to be like, well, if this happened. No, it's not even your fucking business to say something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the same shit. It's the same. Not Grace. Not Grace. We love Grace. I love you, Grace. Fucking Karen.
But it's just like, yeah. I do feel like we were kind of tormenting Grace there. That wasn't my intention.
That wasn't my intention, Grace. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. But I'm just saying, like, I was just curious because most of the time when people give advice like this, they tend to have some sort of background as far as, like...
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
a psych background or something.
Yeah.
And that's not that you need that, but it's like, it doesn't really make me take that seriously. Well, damn, my fucking blood pressure's up.
Funny thing is, I sent this to you a little bit ago.
Well, that's the thing. You sent it. When did you send that to me? Yesterday?
I think so, because I was like, I want to talk about this on the podcast. And then,
you sent that to me while I was at work. That's why.
Yeah, I was like, and then I mentioned about doing a TikTok that I just did, and I was sending it to you, but you saw this and clicked on that, and I was like, yeah, this was Like I read that, and like I said, my first knee gut reaction was like, well, why didn't
Absolutely.
she? I would have offered to reschedule it, and then you start to think.
Yeah.
You start to look at this rationally, and you're like, okay, yeah, you're right. Money investment. There's like all this.
Yeah.
That, you don't know if people are flying from out of town.
Exactly.
It
It is not
There's
just, and I think that's the thing that really kind of locks that in for me, because it's not just, if I have to cancel my wedding, I'm not just fucking up my own plans.
yeah,
There are people who literally have taken weekends off for people's weddings.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to get hammered.
Yeah.
Or something like that. This is supposed to be a joyous occasion.
yeah. This wasn't a trip to the amusement park. This wasn't like, hey, you guys had plans and you guys were even. I hate to say this, even to some extent, a family reunion. Like, I mean, at that point, like, yeah, this was a big event.
Yeah. And you know what? And maybe I'm the asshole. That's entirely possible. Matter of fact, more often than not, that's usually the case. However, I don't believe in this particular circumstance Leah has done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Which includes not rescheduling her wedding.
Yeah.
See, and here's the other part of that situation.
That's a shit show.
It is.
The entire thing is a shit show.
It sucks that happened to Karen, and it really does. But the entire thing started in shit. So is it really that surprising that that's how it ended?
Honestly, one of and I like this. I didn't even think she was a good therapist, but the one therapist that I did see, the one thing she did say that made so much fucking perfect sense, and we stick to this. You and I say this a lot. You have shit choices and you have shittier choices. Which one are you gonna choose?
Yeah.
Chose.
Chose. Which one are you gonna choose?
But no, seriously, think about that. You have to decide. We would love it if we had the good choice, the bad choice, the right, the wrong choice. But it's not that simple. Sometimes you just don't really have an option, and there was no good choice in that.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, no, there were a lot. Well, I mean, as far as canceling versus not canceling, no. But there was no good choice.
Yeah.
But for Karen, there was a whole shitload of choices that she made to put herself in that specific position. The decision tree on that didn't have many branches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this idea that somehow Leah is at fault, I actually kind of take offense to it. Not offense, but it's like, who the fuck are any of these people? Like, if it's something to where it's like, all right, there's maybe like, all right, like 12 people are going to come to my wedding, which is overpopulated for us. But
I was going to say,
that's neither here nor there.
Does that include our pet?
It's one of those things where if it was something that wasn't that big of a deal, like we were just kind of throwing it together at the last minute, we wanted to get married, fuck, we're going to throw it. Yeah, totally. I'll reschedule that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't look at both of these sisters like both of them have done something equally wrong.
Yeah.
You could make an argument that Leah should have, canceled or moved her wedding. Fine. Or maybe you shouldn't be going to the wedding when you're in a compromised emotional state.
Yeah. At that point too, like if I was Leah, I would have been like, listen, I would not think ill of you at all. Even if she was the matron of honor, I would have been like, I would not think ill of you at all if you just did not show up. Not that I don't want you there.
Yeah.
But understandable. You know what I mean? Because the love of your life you lost. I'm marrying mine today. I can only imagine how painful that would be for you. So you don't have to come.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I would have approached it at first, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, wow. Okay, how can I expect her to come and put on a smiley face at this moment? Not saying that's what she expected.
Yeah.
But it's like at this point, it's like, yeah, how can I expect that person to come and like be like my cheerleader when her world fell apart?
Yeah.
She doesn't have it. Like I said to you different times, like sometimes when I'm having my bad days as far as my sickness and stuff, like I feel like when people are like, hey, I need, and I'm like, I have nothing to give.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be like, I have nothing to give.
Yeah.
And it's even more it's even more responsible and even better to be the opposite person, be like, I've recognized
Yeah.
you have nothing to give.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that reassurance, like it's okay for you to stay home.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah.
So, Grace, respectfully, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Leah,
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
And I'm sorry that happened to your sister.
And Karen, I am so sorry you lost your son and your husband. This is a situation that, in any case, should not have happened. Holy shit, man. Wow. Yeah, so let's just fucking duck now.
Yeah.
All right, well, I am Johnny Nullstep with Hopeless Judas.
Big kid.
We'll see ya.